Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode with the Rebuilding Podcast. I'm so excited to be here, guys. And we are literally going to jump right into this thing because y'all know I love a good story. Love a good story. And I got a story to tell today. I got a story. I love analogies. So when I got this revelation on Sunday into like yesterday, I was like, we're definitely talking about this. We are definitely talking about this on Tuesday because I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that has convinced myself that, little things don't matter when is no harm, no foul, it has no effect on our future, like it don't matter. So we are going to talk about when God tells us when he's making all things new. When God said he's making all things new, that is exactly what he means. He means I am making all things new. So before we get started, I need for you to go ahead, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, share this episode with somebody that you know that is holding on to the past, somebody that you know they're not moving forward, they are hoarding things, they are keeping things thinking that they can't get nothing better or their situation can't get any better, and they have become very comfortable in a place that they are in. When you know that they have the potential to go further, I need for you to like, share, comment, and send this to that friend because this episode is going to be for them. This episode is most definitely going to be for them. So I'm going to start. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to read a couple scriptures and then I'm going to get into my little story. Okay. Okay. All right, so the first one I'm gonna read, and these are just some scriptures of where God talks about, he's about to do a new thing or he's making all things new. So the first one is going to be my favorite, 2 Corinthians 5:17. And it says, this means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone and a new life has begun. That's the first one. The second one is, of course, Isaiah 43:19. I like this one too. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And the last one I'm going to share is Revelations 21:5, where it says, and the one sitting on the throne says, look, I am making everything new. I'm making everything new. And then he said to me, write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true. So I wanted to share those with you because so many times in scripture, so many times in the word, and you can go find it yourself, Revelations 21:5, Isaiah 43:19, and 2 Corinthians 5:17. So many times God tells us that he is doing a new thing. So many times he tells us to stay away from the past and go forward into what he's doing. Embrace the new. Like, you do not need the old. You don't, when you become a new creature in Christ, like your old life has passed away. So let's talk about Sunday. Sunday, y'all, was dressed down Sunday at church. Now, I keep shoes. I keep shoes. Like, my shoes will last me forever. So I had on my wedges that I have literally had I know I had them before I was married. So, and they're at least 19 years old. These wedges are at least 19 years old. But it's, how you have those timeless pieces, those pieces that don't, they never can get old. They never can get old. Anyway, I had on my wedges and I wore them to church. Y'all, let me tell you, I wore them in the church. I wore them in the church. I even danced a little bit in these good old wedges. I wore them out of the church. I wore them into a restaurant for brunch. I did all this, y'all. Ain't have no problem with this shoe or nothing. Now, let's back up for a little bit. God has been telling me, like, I need to let go of the old, let go of the old, let go of the old, make room for the new. Like, this has been a constant thing that he has been speaking to me about. Like, I need for you to make room for the new, like in every area of my life. Did I think about some shoes? No. Have I been? I'm giving away clothes. I've been making room for like old shoes. I think I've been through my closet like 3 times, and every time I find something like that needs to go to Goodwill, that needs to go away. So I've been purging, but these shoes they never made the cut. They never made the cut. So wore them in the church, danced in them in church, wore them out of church, wore them into the restaurant. And then I always keep a pair of slides in my purse. So at the restaurant, I was like, man, I done walked around in these shoes all day long. Let me go ahead and just slide on my slides. So I took them off, kicked them off under the table, and just put on my slides. Now, before I left church, somebody was like, Shalina, ain't those the shoes that were, you showed me a picture of you a long time ago when you were for the streets? And I said, you know what? They probably were. And baby, we had a time in these shoes. And I just started thinking about some of the times that I've had in these good old wedges. Baby, we had a time when we were for the streets in these good wedges. I ain't think nothing else about it. So kick the shoes off at the restaurant. And when it's time to leave, I go and pick up my shoe. And when I pick up one, like the sole is coming off. Like I picked up by the strap and the sole came up, but in the wedges right here. I said, what in the world? And I looked at the other one and did the same thing. I said, I ain't worried about it. I'm going to carry these bad boys home. I'm going to put some super glue on them and I'm going to be fine. So I tossed them in the back seat. And I tossed them in the back seat and I looked at the strap and it looked like the strap was tearing. I'm like, I done had on these shoes all day long. Like there's no way possible that this shoe is coming apart. I literally have had this shoe on. I walked from the parking garage to the restaurant. There's no way this shoe is coming apart. I tossed them in the back seat. I said, yeah, I'm going to fix this. Even if I got to carry it to somebody to get it fixed. I didn't have these shoes entirely too long for me to give them up. They're a timeless piece and they so cute. I'm not going to find any more shoes like this. Bet. Y'all, I pull in my driveway. And now, mind you, I already got a project in my mind. I'm going to glue this sole back down. I'm going to figure out what's going on with these straps. I take the shoe out the car. Why did the whole strap come off? The entire strap came off of the shoe. And there was no repairing. There was no going back. The shoe at this point is trash. And guess what I had to do? I had to take the shoes and put them in the trash. And I was upset. I was so upset. But I give you that story, one, to show you that even when God tells you to let go of the old, and we get a little rebellious and we get a little, we're not obedient, we become delayed in our obedience in doing it, he still gives us grace. He still makes sure that we're covered. He still makes sure that we can still hold it together in the midst of being disobedient. He still loves us enough to not allow us to crumble in disobedience. He still loves us enough to not allow us to fall in disobedience. Like, this is where his grace is so sufficient, because them shoes could have broken church. Those shoes could have broke while I was walking to the restaurant, but yet his grace still covered me. He still said, okay, I'm gonna make sure you got it together, but when you step outside of it, When you step away from what I tell you to let go, I'm going to make sure that there is no option for you to go back. I'm going to make sure there is no option for you to go back. But yet, even in the midst of disobedience, in the midst of me having a hard time of letting go of something that I've had forever, when he said, I will make all things new, he still gave me grace. And I'm so grateful that God does not kill us in the midst of disobedience. He doesn't kill us in the midst of us delaying to obey him. He doesn't kill us in the midst of trying to convince ourselves like he can't be talking about this. Now, even though God is like, I'll make all things new, in my mind, like, I'm not thinking you talking about a shoe, because this shoe is not like, baby, this shoe ain't hurting nobody. This is not hurting nobody. And sometimes we get where it be the little things in life and we like, this ain't gonna hurt nothing. I know what you told me to do, but this thing has nothing to do. I'm looking for something big. I'm looking for something catastrophic. I'm looking for something that's going to be detrimental to my life. But how we know that the small foxes ruin the vine? Because guess what? Let me tell you something. It all started to come back to me once I started thinking about it, after I calmed down from me being mad, having thrown away my shoes. When she told me, she was like, girl, those the shoes that you showed me in that picture of you a long time ago, when you were hanging out in the streets. And my mind even went back there and just started reminiscing on some things that, I don't do now. But, we had a time. We had a great time. And sometimes, even though the shoes are not a problem, it's a reminder of who I used to be. It is a clear reminder of who I used to be. And if you ponder on those thoughts long enough, then something is going to allow you to slip back into who you used to be. But when God has created you a new creature, when he has created you to become something new, to step outside of your old self, to take on the new creature who he has called you to be, you don't want anything resembling who you were in your past, because you don't want to go back to the past. You want all old things passed away. All old things, not just some, but you want all old things passed away so that you can embrace your new. You don't want anybody to remember who you used to be, but I want you to see who God is calling me to be. So even though it didn't seem like a big deal at that moment, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, because I'm creating you in a new image. I'm creating you in the image of God. That's who I want you to be. I don't want you to represent anything that represents the world. I want you to represent the things that I want you to walk in the things that represent me. And so many times we convince ourselves like, you know what? Okay, God, you're not talking about this little thing because it's not causing any harm and it's not really blocking my future, but it's little teeny seeds that it's planting along the way. And we don't need we don't need little seed. Even it says faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need, just a little teeny seed. It goes both ways. Like you can have a little teeny seed that produces into a harvest that you did not even want to come up. You don't want a corrupt harvest. So we have to be careful of the things that we keep in our life that are little seeds that can eventually produce a corrupt harvest. We don't want that. And sometimes we hold on to things because we don't think that we can have anything better. And we like, this is I literally, when I say ain't no way in the world, I'm gonna find some more shoes that look like this. Like, ain't no way. These shoes that lasted me 20 years. They cute. I'm not even gonna find another style of shoe that even looks like this. Well, baby, there is so much new out here. Who cares about that old thing? Who cares? Yes, I may not find a shoe that looks just like that one, but God is going to give me greater. When God provides it, it is greater. It may not look like what it used to look, but I promise you it's going to be worth letting go and making room for what he has already called you to do or has already prepared for you. So are you willing to just be satisfied with this old thing that you had for years that is run down? And yes, it may be still cute and may still be useful, but are you willing to embrace the thing that he has set for you in your future? You can't carry that old thing into the new. We talk about new wineskins and old wineskins all the time. And God wants to pour something new into you, but you can't because you don't want to let go of that old shell. You don't want to let go of that old flesh. You don't want to let go of that old way of thinking. You don't want to let go of that old mindset so that God can pour something new into you and you not waste it. Like he wants to make sure that when he gives you what you need, you're able to maintain it. But it's going to require you to let go of the old. I don't care how small it is and how much you think like it really is not a big deal. It is a big deal. It is a very, very, very big deal. And when God says all things are being made new, I need for you to understand that all things are being made new. So when he tells you to let go of it, no matter how small it seems or how simple it sounds or how crazy it sounds and how, he ain't talking about that. Yeah, he's talking about that too. He's talking about all the things because he knows how a small little thing can ruin everything that he has prepared for you. And sometimes we just hold on and what are we afraid? Why are we afraid to let go? Why are we afraid to let go? Is it because of who we thought we were and how and we built this image and we built this life of success and we feel like we'll never make it again? Or is it because of this is who I am? No, that's the image that you built of yourself. But what are you willing to let go so that God can recreate you? So God can put you back on the potter's wheel and mold you into who you need to be. Allow him to do the working, allow him to do the shaping, allow him to do the molding. Yes, you did a great job in who you are today. Yes, you may be successful. Yes, you may have the image that the people are desiring to be, but who is it that God has called you to be? Who is it that God has called you to be? We keep making these decisions and we keep making these plans of what we need to do and how we need to provide for ourselves and how we need to provide for our family instead of just being still and allowing God to give us direction, allowing God to order our steps. He says a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord, but we are so caught up in making our own plans because we see this vision that we have for life, but we don't understand the vision that God has for us. So we get caught up in these old ways of thinking. We get caught up in tradition. We get caught up in what our family expects us to do. We get caught up in everything except for what God would have us to do. And because the old way worked, and because my mom did it this way, and my aunties did it this way, and my grandma did it this way, I get so caught up in the old way of doing things when God is using you to break cycles, when God is using you to elevate to another level, where God wants to use you to be the blueprint so that others can follow you, but we get so caught up in the old way because that is what worked for others. And God is saying, you are new, you are totally different. I've called you to be set apart. So the way that you do things is going to be completely different from what you've seen your family going to do because you are the one that is called to break generational curses. What they did was good, but what you're going to do is going to be great. It's going to be exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ever ask or even think. You are called to break molds. You are called to break outside of the box. You are called to break generational curses, but it is going to require you to put aside the old. It is going to require you to forget the old. It is going to require you not to look back. We're not following the old regimen anymore. We're not. We're doing the new thing that God has called us to do. And he said, I know the plans that I have for you that are of good and not disaster, for you to have a future and a hope. Another translation says, for you to have a future, a rich and prosperous life. You are different. You are called to be set apart. I don't even know how we got here, but you're called to be set apart. So I need for you to let go of your plans. I need for you to let go of the way and the vision that you had for your life. And I need for you to embrace the place that God is about to carry you. Let me tell y'all something. I went and got a part-time job. I went and got a part-time job. I went and got a part-time job. I had no business going to get a part-time job. But in my mind, I was like, I need this part-time job. I'm going to pay down some credit cards and, you know, I'm getting me a little discount on the side, but I really need it. I really need it because I feel like I need to supplement some income. I can't do this whole just enough. I need a little bit more because I want to do some things. I want to take my baby to go see Gracie's Corner. I just need a little bit extra money to do what I want to do, just until we can come out this little hole of how when I had cancer and we had some medical bills, just so I can get back to where I was supposed to be. Because even during the whole cancer journey, yes, God provided. He provided. He made sure that I had enough. And even in savings, like savings is gone, it's a whole lot. So I'm like, I need to get back to the place that I was. So I'm gonna go get me a little part-time job. My crazy tale. Mind you, healing is a journey. So my body ain't 100% of where it's supposed to be because it's still healing. It is still healing. And I need to make sure that I follow this process. Baby, your girl went and got her a job working 11 to 7. 2 nights a week. I did 2 nights a week. But those 2 nights a week, I worked 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I had to be to work at 8:30 in the morning. So I would get off at 7 and had to be to work at 8:30. Mind you, I worked the day before. So let's just say for today, for instance, let's take today, for instance. I would go to work at 8:30 to 5. I would get off and try to get me like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then I'll go to work at 11 and get off at 7 a.m. and then try to get like an hour of sleep, like in the car, and so I can go to work. And go to work again from 8:30 to 5. And I would do that for 2 or 3 days. It was so much on my body. It was my body, and I continued to like press through. It's like, I can do this. Like, I can do this. Like I'm 20 years old. Like, I can, no, bro, you are not 20, and your body has been through a whole lot the last year and a half. You cannot, but I kept pressing, and God told me to let that job go. All right, I'm gonna let it go next week, and I kept going. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go another week. I'm gonna get another paycheck, and I kept going. Baby, my body started swelling up. my body started swelling, y'all. It's so my feet swelling, my hands were swelling. Like you could still see like some puffiness in my face. And I am trying to work because I am trying to provide for myself. And God is steady like, you are going to let this job go. Are you going to allow your wants to destroy your life? And I happen to be reading a story in the Bible with King Ahab about the whole vineyard and all of that. Anyway, read that story. Anyway, he wanted the vineyard. He ended up doing some shady stuff and got the vineyard, and God told him that you're going to die because I told you that was a no. And so God was like, are you going to allow your wants to destroy your life? Sir, no, I'm not. Let me tell these good old people that I'm going to quit because I'd rather be obedient. And that is exactly what I did. But I was like, God, like, Bruh, you say faith without works is dead. That's when you start manipulating the word to work your situation. But at the end of the day, he's my Jehovah Jireh. He is my provider. He said, I will provide all of your needs according to my riches and glory. I'm not going to allow you to be out here and kill yourself, work your body in overload when I am your provider. This is a season where you're not going to have to work for this thing. Like, I'm going to be able to give you ideas and you're going to be able to do them, and it won't seem like work. It will not seem like work. But right now, when I tell you I'm doing this, y'all, I have no time for prayer. I have no time for studying because I am exhausted. So now my life with God, my quiet time with God is gone because now I'm always sleeping because I am so exhausted. So the trade-off for a couple $100 and losing my relationship with God and all this wear and tear on my body, all because I'm trying to fund a vision that I have for my life instead of seeking God, who knows the plans that he has for me, who has all of the answers, who knows what I'm supposed to be doing, who said that he's going to provide for me, to say that he is my strength. I'm going to lose all of that for a couple $100? No, baby. Let me quit. Let me rest this body and let me get back to who God has called me to be. But I was so quick because I want to get back to some kind of normalcy that I think is normal. And it's not that. Who said that the life that I was living was normal? That's not normalcy. It's not. That even though I'm trying to get back to some normalcy, God is like, I'm trying to do a new thing. I'm trying to do a new thing, and you're trying to get back to your normal. I don't want you in your normal. I want to do something new. So I say all of that to say, when God takes you outside of the old, just like he did the Israelites, he took them out of Egypt, and them nuts complained about him rescuing them. Talking about he could have just left us where he was at. Well, what is he trying to do? Kill us in this new, when he's trying to get them to the land of milk and honey. Yes, when you're walking in your new, it's not going to always be peaches and cream. There are sometimes in your new season where your past season looks better. I could have stayed there. It wasn't this hard. But you don't think that the enemy is not going to test you when you're trying to get into your new? Yes, your past looks better when you're walking into your new season, because the enemy is going to test you with trials and tribulations, because he does not want you to get there. He wants you to go back to your old self. So he's going to make it look more glamorous than what you're walking into, but you have to remember the promise. You have to remember the promise, and you have to stay focused on the process. Do not look back. I don't care how good you thought that you had it. Do not look back. God is still God. And if he said it, he's going to do it. If he said all things made new, he is not a man that he shall lie, nor the son of man that he shall repent. He is going to do it. He's going to do it. So I encourage you today, that thing that you holding on that you think is not a big deal, that you can just walk into your new season and think that God is just going to open doors and you still hold on to the past. I need for you to release it so you can walk into the place that God has called you to. Release it, let it go, and allow God to open doors that no man can shut. But you cannot walk through it still carrying baggage. You cannot. You have to let it go and walk through that door with the yoke that is light. So I want y'all to think about the little things this week. Think about the little things that you've been holding on to. Think about the little things that you feel like, well, it's not a big deal. Maybe he's not talking about that, but that it still keeps nagging you. It still keeps coming up. Y'all, want you to think about that and ask God to give you the strength to release it. And I promise you, when you ask him to give you the strength to release it, you're going to have a boldness And you're going to do it. And you're even going to do it scared. Do it scared. Just like Elijah. Do it scared. Release it with tears in your eyes. Just release it. And allow God to give you the new thing. Anyway, I love y'all. We'll be back next week because next week is the 1st. Next week is the 1st. So we doing 1st and 3rd. Y'all got lucky because it was the 5th Sunday thrown in here. But, not 5th Sunday, 5th Tuesday. Lord Jesus. Think about 5th Sunday. Anyway, y'all think about it. And then we're going to talk about it again in 2 weeks. And I'm going to see if y'all released it. Anyway, I love you guys. I see y'all in 2 weeks. No, I see you next week.